Hey everyone, ArdrethShadow here, and welcome back to Doki Doki Shattered Time Rewind. So previously, we learned that Natsuki, a student in the same homeroom as MC, mysteriously died. And then, Amy had him perform some kind of freaky-deaky ritual that sent him back in time, and now he has to relive the same stretch of time like in Groundhog Day. And yeah, we're right in front of Natsuki's house again. Anyway, I wake up to find myself on the ground. Lying on the cold, hard ground. Yeah, it's happening again. I get up and see the familiar house right in front of me. Sure enough, there's the mailbox with the Sirenji name on it. I psych myself up as I approach the gate. Once again, it creaks open after barely touching it. I approach the entrance, and I gently open the door. Nice place you got here. Okay, no. It's official. I've broken into someone's home. I know Mom would be extremely disappointed if she found out about this. I close the door quietly as I can, as I make my way into the house. I guess I close the door as quietly, I close the door quietly as I make my way into the house. Probably sounds better. The time for hesitating is long gone, because you've changed things forever. Also, well, I guess to be fair, you don't plan on someone, seeing your laptop out in the living room. I still can't believe I did that crazy ritual for Amy. And I can't believe it's not butter. Okay, well. I also can't believe Tarankos is apparently real. What else is going to go wrong? I shouldn't even ask. Tempting fate is just asking for more trouble. Yes, it is. I have no idea who's inside the house, but I don't think they'll be happy with some young punk roaming around. Get back here, you young punk! Okay, well. I look at the kitchen table, which is lined with beer bottles galore. Imagination! Because, yes, we couldn't do that. We had to work with what we had. There are some coffee mugs with cold coffee sprinkled throughout the mess, as well as a bowl of leftover rice. I also see some cheap dinnerware that looks like it came from a discount store littering the inside of the sink. What happened to this place? Does someone actually live here? Apparently! I graze my hand over the counter where I find a picture frame with a picture of Natsuki and who I'm guessing are her parents. I guess that answers my question. Everyone is smiling and looking cheerful here, and yet... whenever I did see Natsuki, she never looked all that cheerful. If anything, she looked grumpy like 80% of the time I ever saw her in class, so to see this... I had no clue she could even smile. Then again, a lot of the gossipers around school have made similar jokes about me, so I'm not one to talk. I turn away from the picture and look at the sink a little closer. There's a ton of baking pans in here just begging to be washed, along with some dinner plates and bowls. My mom would freak out if she saw this place. Good thing she isn't here then. Yeah, that way she could also be like, why did you break into someone's home? My nose picks up a sweet-smelling aroma from the baking pans. Whatever it was, it must have been really good. I wonder if Natsuki was the one behind the baking. I can't help but think about... Gah, no. Not again. She loved baking a lot back then. I think back to the time she would make my favorite cookies just because she felt like it. Everything was so different back then. Kotonoa, why did you do it? Why? I tear myself away from the sink and get away from the kitchen. I can't be in here right now. Not when memories of her are swirling around in my head. I quietly make my way upstairs. There wasn't anything else of note on the first floor aside from more chaos strewn all over the place. I choose to go into the first room I come across and gently open the door. Again. There, right in front of me, is a pink bed with a sleeping Natsuki. Imagination! She looks so peaceful and serene. Wait, what the hell am I even doing in here? I already broke into her house. Do I want to add being some kind of pervert to my list of crimes here? I'm a guy in a random girl's room, and she has no relation or feelings toward me whatsoever. Yeah, this doesn't feel awkward at all. As I back out of the room, I remember Amy's parting words to me. Don't mess this up. So whatever it takes, right? Great. I shouldn't be doing this. Ugh. Despite how uncomfortable I am, I begin snooping around her room. Within reason, of course. Snooping as usual, I see. Well, anyway. There's a mirror right by her doorway that looks kind of dusty. There's a sticky note with the number 8 on it for some reason. Below it, there's another note with a doodle of a cat drawn on it. As I inspect the room, one thing is clear. There is a lot of pink happening here. I mean, I shouldn't be too surprised or anything, but this all just feels so foreign to me. There's an array of cute little trinkets lining up one of her shelves, as well as tiny anime figurines here and there. Huh. Well, I guess that's something we sort of have in common. Well, not so much the cute anime figurines, but collecting anime figurines in general, of course. Although the ones I go for aren't so cutesy. I stop in my tracks. I look over to Natsuki. She's still asleep. Phew. I guess she's just mumbling in her sleep. I really don't want to be caught here. I have to find some clues and get the hell out of here. I look over the shelves again and spot what seems to be a diary. Okay, maybe this ought to have some helpful information in it. I'm struck by guilt as I hold the book in my hands. I can't help but feel disgusted at myself, but I'm not doing this to stalk or prey on Natsuki like some kind of creep. I guess I only feel that way considering I'm standing in her room while she's asleep after breaking into her house. And now I'm here holding a diary of her innermost personal thoughts. I'm doing this to save your life, Natsuki. Sorry in advance. May 28th, 2019. Everything has been so damn depressing lately. It's honestly suffocating. I feel like I can't breathe sometimes. I haven't felt like smiling in forever. When I try to, it feels so forced, and like there's no heart to it. Amy teases me, saying I need to smile more, but how can I? I don't even know what's keeping me going at this point. Whatever it is, I just don't want to know what'll happen if I lose my mind. By the time I find out, it might be too late. I can't even describe how much I hate this right now. I can hear him. Right now. He's downstairs drinking. Again. He hasn't come up to my room yet. God, please don't come in all angry or sad. Please don't do anything terrible. I don't know if I can take this anymore. Sometimes I stop and wonder what it'd be like if someone came to the house to get me out of here and keep me safe. You mean like in the original Exit Music? Not Exit Music Redux, because I don't like that mod at all. That was a mod that truly did make me suffer. Make me suffer. Huh. Yeah, like that'll ever happen. Not in this universe, anyway. Well, yeah, well, like I said, we're not telling the story of Exit Music. This isn't a movie, Natsuki. You're not going to meet your hero and have him save you. It's also not the original exit music where... Yeah, if I'm being honest, like... Say what you will about how awful the writing was and how Monica is like Ice Queen Bitch 1.0 for 50% of the game, and then Yuri out of nowhere becomes a conniving shrew. But the love story between him and Natsuki was... That was probably one of my favorite things ever about that mod, and I even thought it was, like... As silly as it was kind of touching for her to write that poem called My Hero and whatever, and she dedicated it to him, like... She really did get rescued by him. And they just had this very adorable relationship. Something I did not get out of Exit Music Redux. Where they're fighting all the time and at each other's throats. Anyway. May 29th, 2019. Every day it's the same damn thing. School doesn't really interest me much anymore. Then again, it hasn't been the same since last year. Kotono's sudden death really changed the ambience for everyone. She was such a cool person, too. She was always super pretty and graceful with intelligence to boot. I swear she had it all. At least, compared to someone so small and cutesy like me. Ugh, I hate it when anyone calls me cute. Koto was a lot like Yuri, now that I think about it. Well, they were cousins, so maybe I shouldn't be too surprised. I wish I got to hang out more to swap baking tips and secrets with each other. Yeah, I guess we don't need this extra more there, because... yeah. A little bit redundant. My apologies. I hadn't felt that good about talking to someone in a long time. I lost all that on that fateful day, and now... No offense to Amy, but her and Yuri are the only other people I talk to now. Koto felt like the sister I never had. It was like I could be more myself around her and not have to worry about scaring her off. She felt comfortable enough to tell me little things about herself as well. Like when she told me about this guy that I just so happened to sit behind in class. Speaking of which... May 30th, 2019. I don't even know why she told me about that guy. I mean, he's not bad-looking or anything, but I could see her aiming a lot higher. Yep. Natsuki's got your number. The way she talks about him, though... I swear it's like she's trying to make me fall for him or something. Not that I like him or anything, of course. Because that would be crazy. I hardly know him. It was obvious she liked him. The weird thing is, the guy she was talking about sounds nothing like the guy in my class. I thought it was a mistake, and I had the wrong guy, but nope. It's the very same Daniel. I even asked Mio to be sure, and she confirmed it for me. I don't even know why, but ever since then, it's like I've been seeing a lot more of him around lately. And without even trying to. I don't know why I'm talking about him right now. Ugh, I need to stop already or else... Nope, I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. Not even for this silly diary entry. Jeez, tell me how you really feel about me, why don't you? Well, confirmed. Natsuki hates me. Whatever. Just as I'm about to turn the page, I hear some loud booming footsteps. Shit! This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. I quickly hide under the bed, desperate to hide. Or desperate to get away, or... I don't know. Or desperate to keep out of sight. Yeah, desperate to keep out of sight probably sounds better. That's when I notice I still have the diary in my hand. Oh, shit. I can't worry about that now. The footsteps are getting closer. I curl up as much as I can, hoping no one will see me down here. Suddenly they stop and the door opens, revealing the shadow of a lone figure looming in the doorway. Whoever it is, They're giving off a murderous aura that I can feel all the way from down here. He slowly walks into the room. I can't get a good look at him, unfortunately, so I decide to lay low and be quiet. Natsuki, are you still awake? Were you waiting for me? I'm sorry. I just finished work, so I'm a bit late. Thanks for waiting up, though. What? I didn't hear a car pulling up from outside. In fact, there was already a car parked out in front. Goddamn liar. What's this guy's angle? Natsuki rustles in her bed. I hear the springs creak as she sits up. She doesn't say anything to him. This has to be her father, I assume. You know, things have been very rough these last few days. Things haven't been going well for me at work. They got mad at me today because I didn't get a report done in time. They took the thing and threw it in my face and went on about all the little editing mistakes I made. Interesting. Probably spent 10 minutes telling me how my report was worthless to them and that I need to improve. Well, maybe if they'd actually tell me what I need to improve and how... I shouldn't be complaining too much, should I? Diary did mention how her dad seems to drink a lot, and how you don't want to be around him when he's sad or angry. So Natsuki only has her father in her life. I'm snapped back to reality as he gets closer to the bed. That's when I notice something behind his back, at least the shadow of it. What? No. No! You can't. You can't! Tell me, Nat. Tell me you're on my side. You are on my side, right, Natsuki? You won't just up and leave me out of the blue like your mother did, right? You're gonna see a little more about what happened to her mom in the next time loop. You'll stay here by my side, won't you, Nat?
I'm on your side. I won't go anywhere. I promise.
It sure doesn't sound like she believes the words coming out of her mouth. She said all that in a hushed whisper. I haven't seen the guy, but he's already making my skin crawl. Meanwhile, she has to see and talk to him every day. I don't think I'd be able to do that if he was my old man. Her father chuckles to himself before letting out a deep sigh. Tell me, Natsuki, if I said I wanted to die, would you die with me? No.
Dad? What are you saying?
It's gone very hard to keep on living, you see. I can't handle this anymore. It's all just too much. I can't deal with it now. The world is a cruel, unforgiving place. I feel like there's only one way to make the suffering just stop. Just to end it all and be free from strife and grief. I can't do that, though. That'd be selfish of me. If I did that, I'd be leaving you by yourself with no one else in the world. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. You'd be all alone in this damn cruel world without anyone to take care of you. I can't just do that. So I'm asking you. Please, die with me.
Dad?
It's happening all over again. I can still see those lifeless lavender eyes looking back at me. They never failed to pierce my own with how brilliant they shone. At least, not until I saw her that day. The day she was taken from this world. This guy is fucked in the head. Relax, Nat. I have it all planned out and everything. He takes whatever he was holding behind his back and holds it to Natsuki. knew it. I knew it. It was a pistol. You'll go first, so you won't have to do the job yourself, and then I'll go after you.
Dad, stop! What are you...
Before I can react, I hear a gunshot. He killed his own daughter! I have to muffle my mouth as Natsuki's body slumps over, her hand dangling from the edge of the bed. I feel like I'm going to throw up right now. What the actual fuck? How could he do something so batshit insane without hesitation? He's breathing heavily as he reloads the gun. Don't worry, Natsuki. I'm right behind you. There's a silence in the air as nothing happens. I look to see his shadow again. He's holding the gun to the roof of his mouth, but his hands are trembling. There is no second gunshot. He's just standing there. I can't. I can't pull the damn trigger! I can't do it, Natsuki! I just can't do it! I can't finish the job! I'm too scared to do it myself! He drops to his knees, letting out an anguished cry that rattles the windows. No! I just killed my only daughter! I killed the only person I had left in this world! Ah! Natsuki! What have I done?
Hey, do you think I'd be better off dead?
It's all starting to make sense now. Natsuki, your dad makes mine look like a frickin' saint. Natsuki's life cut short by the hands of her own father. She was forced into a double suicide by him after he went batshit insane. She tried to put up some bit of a fight, only for him to kill her anyway. I don't know what else she could have done, but then, what can you do when you're defenseless against someone with a goddamn gun? How bad was her life for everything to just end like this for her? Is that why she asked me that question? Why, though? Who's there? What? I look to see a deranged-looking man glaring right at me. You're not having your way with my daughter! He roars to life as he tries to grab me. I do my best to lift the bed as I get up. I then shove it right at him, sending it and Natsuki's body crashing on him. I can't waste time grieving for Natsuki. I'm sorry, Natsuki, but your killer dad is coming after me now. With no choice, I jump out of the window. I land in some bushes. I look up to see if he's there. He isn't. Good. I run. I run as far as I can go. After jumping out the window, I fell pretty badly and injured my shoulder, but I can't let that stop me now. I have to run. I have to live. I look and see that I'm still clutching Natsuki's diary. Well, there's no point in trying to return it now unless I want to share Natsuki's fate. Her dad is a goddamn psychopath. I managed to make it home. It looks like I outran him. Assuming he was chasing after me in the first place, I wasn't going to bother checking to be sure. I get into the house as fast as I can, making sure I lock the door behind me. I don't think he got a good look at my face, thankfully. But, oops, the word doubt is misspelled. I doubt he's going to give up so easily. After all, I'm the sole witness to his messed up crime. I clean myself up in the bathroom and take some painkillers for my shoulder. Damn. Hopefully this won't be so bad in the morning. I don't think Mom heard anything. I swear, she can sleep through anything with how much of a heavy sleeper she is. Lucky for me, I suppose. I get ready for bed, trying to put this whole experience out of my mind. I can't do it, though. I just witnessed Natsuki's father kill her in cold blood like it was nothing. How do you forget something like that? I'm not going to sleep well tonight, assuming I can even sleep at all. Here we are, June 4th, again. It's time for another day at school. Only this time, it's not even another day. I'm reliving the same damn day as if I were in some kind of movie or video game. Despite this revelation, I got up as I usually did. Mom didn't notice I was missing once again, and I don't have to explain anything to her. Even if I did, I doubt anyone would believe me. Yeah, it's like, unfortunately, I misspelled it back there, but I spell it right here. Go figure. Hey, I'm from the future, and I came back to the past to stop a murder. Yeah, they'll send the goons with their white nets to lock me up in a padded room for sure. I wish I didn't have to see that freak chick Amy. Or anyone else for that matter. Oops, too slow. Ah, look at little Edgelord Jr. Look at little Edgelord Jr. Are you gonna cry? I wish I didn't have to see this dipshit either. At least Amy is sort of easy on the eyes. This guy makes my stomach churn. I look past him and sidestep him entirely to get to my locker. As I do that, he slams his fist on the locker next to mine. You got some kind of nerve! I give him a vacant stare as I turn to look at him. Talk to me when I'm talking to you! Nah. I'm just gonna ignore this asshole. I turn back to face my locker when he continues running his mouth. You think you're too good to talk to me? Hey! Answer me! I'm sorry. Were you saying something? Speak up. I don't think they heard you in Cuba. As I pass by him, I hear some students snickering to themselves as Junichiro tries to contain his outrage. Get back over here and say that to my face! I'm sorry. I don't speak, loser. Much like in the previous loop, I hold up my hand in a flapping mouth gesture as I go to class. All the while, he runs his mouth about how I'm so fucking dead or whatever. I swear, he's such a waste of oxygen. I decide to test out a little theory before actually going to class. There we go. I've got the time, so why not? Dare I say why not? I look around and walk into a random classroom. The day is just going to repeat itself, so there's no need to worry. What's the worst that could happen? Getting expelled? No, I wouldn't want to do anything that crazy, even with my curse of repeating the same day. I scan the room and walk up to a girl sitting by herself. Hey.
Me?
What's your name?
I'm Aiko.
Who was your favorite teacher in high school?
That'd be Mr. Oikawa. aka Mr. Sexy, as as me and my friends used to call him. I miss him.
That's nice. Well, see ya.
Huh? Hey, wait! What's with the random questions? Were you trying to ask me out? If you are, you're doing a really bad job at it!
I turn on my heel and walk out of that class. I'll hang on to that seemingly useless information for later. Now then, time to start my day properly. Much like in the previous loop, I'm able to answer almost every question flawlessly, despite not having studied a damn thing. The teachers were impressed, while the other students looked at me in shock and awe. I never spoke up in class all that much, and I was never much of a star student, so this must have been a surprise. The lesson was done for this class, so we had time to ourselves before lunch. As I rested my head on the desk, I heard some students whispering about how strange I was being. Someone even said I could rival Monica if I was secretly holding out on how smart I was. I wouldn't be able to meet her level even if I wanted to. She can keep her spot as being the school idol. I honestly don't care much about my grades these days. I'm brought out of my thoughts by a light tapping on my shoulder. I turn to meet a familiar face. Hello, Mio.
Daniel? Are you holding up okay?
Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Well, I just thought, considering the news our homeroom teacher gave us this morning and all.
Yeah, I know. It's a damn shame.
Coupled with what today is, I was just wondering if you were feeling okay.
I'm fine. It's no big deal. I haven't thought about her all that much.
It's okay to miss her, Daniel. She was my best friend. I miss her too.
I know what you're trying to do, Mio, but I just don't want to talk about it right now.
Well, I know you're probably not going to like this, but I need to talk to you a little more. Meet me during lunch.
Just like yesterday. As she heads for the door, a wild stampede proceeds to knock her out of the way. I manage to get a hold of her as she stumbles. She looks at me, admittedly flustered. Somebody's blushing and looking adorable again. Look at her just looking so damn adorable. It makes me so angry because you're so damn adorable. Like, ugh! God damn, you're so adorable when you're so cute and blushing like that. Okay, anyway.
Thank you, Daniel.
I don't say anything as I let her go and continue on my way. Maybe I can't stop those idiots from knocking her out of the way, but I can at least be there to catch her before she falls. I know that she would have done the same thing for Mio in my position. After all, she was a very headstrong person. Stubborn, but graceful, intelligent, and loyal to the end. That fierce loyalty was something I always admired about her. Damn it! Stop thinking about her! She's gone and there's nothing you can do about it. Thinking about her is only going to make you more of a depressed loser than you already are. Walking to the cafeteria, I hear some footsteps behind me. I turn around and sure enough, it's the gorilla. Hey. Oh sure, now you want to talk to me, I'm not in the mood to talk to you right now, Joriichiro. I know you're here to beat my face in, but don't waste your time. You think you can order me around, you little punk? I'm not ordering you around, you dink. I'm just giving you a suggestion. Clearly you've decided to ignore it.
What? So you don't want to fight me? What's the matter? Are you scared?
Scared of what? You? You're about as scary as the 1960s Bonzilla. Because we don't want to get sued.
Oh, really? Hey, wait. I just remembered something. What was it again? Oh, that's right. What's today?
What's this? Is he actually using his brain for something?
Oh, that's right. Something happened last year. What was that again? Oh, that's right. Wasn't there that one chick who went and killed herself?
What did he just say? I know what he's trying to do, and I know I shouldn't fall for it. But damn it, it's working.
What was that bitch called again? I can't remember. Oh well, not like she was all that important anyway.
She was just a stupid little... Before he can finish that sentence, I deck him in the mouth as hard as I could. I swear I could hear a sickening crack. Honestly, it filled me with pleasure hearing that. Had no idea he had a glass jaw. He stumbled back as he looked at me, dazed and a little confused. Keep her name out of your fucking mouth!
Come on, man, I was just playing around.
Keep her goddamn name out of your fucking mouth!
Jeez, man, chill out. It's not like I said something like Kodono is a fucking slut.
My logic and reasoning were gone in that moment, replaced by a hot, intense rage. One moment he was standing hunched over just in front of me. The next, he was on the ground with me kneeling over him, senselessly beating the shit out of him. Other students came by to watch as soon as they heard me yell at him. Yep, they heard me to yell at him to never say her name again. Just in time to watch the match of the century. Actually, I think it'd be more accurate to call this a massacre since Joichiro isn't putting up much of a fight. After I knocked him to the ground, I put all my weight on his legs and started beating in his face. I didn't care who was watching. I didn't care what the consequences were. Don't you ever say her name again! You hear me? I proceeded to punch his face in. It sounded like he was trying to speak.
What's that?
I can't hear you!
Daniel, stop! Daniel, stop!
Hearing her voice suddenly snapped me out of my trance-like rage. Yeah, trying to shout with my Mio voice, not easy. I looked down at Joichiro, who seemed to pass out. All eyes were on me as I stopped beating the daylights out of him and got to my feet. Mio took me by the hand, a pleading look on her face.
Come with me, Daniel. We need to talk. Now.
I looked between her and Joichiro lying unconscious on the floor. I looked back at her and nodded. With her hand gripping my wrist, she led me away from all the prying eyes looking at us. I don't put up any resistance as she keeps pulling me away. Yeah, pulling me away. As we keep going, I notice that we pass by the cafeteria. Mio?
This is important!
Yeah, she is mad. The last time this happened, we got our food before coming out here. This time it seems like we're skipping all that and she's cutting straight to the chase. Mio? I feel a stinging sensation on my cheek. It all happened so quickly. I touched my cheek and looked at Mio. She glared at me with tears in her eyes.
What's wrong with you? Do you think Kodonoa would be happy seeing you this way? She never would have wanted to see you senselessly beating up another student like that, even if it is a jerk like Joichiro.
Kodo, I fell to my knees, nearly falling to the ground before putting my arms out to support me. I feel something run down my cheek. Blood? No. Mio might be stronger than she looks, but she didn't slap me hard enough to make me bleed. No. Tears. Why now of all times? I end up sobbing uncontrollably just thinking of what Kodonoa would think of me right now. I haven't cried like this since the day she died. Mio gets closer to me, putting her hands on my shoulders before bringing me close to her.
It's okay. I know you didn't mean to hurt him. I'm sorry. It's okay, Daniel. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Talk to me. What's wrong? There's more to this than just Kodonoa, isn't there?
I don't... It takes a moment to calm myself down. I haven't cried in front of anyone like this in a long time. If Old Man was here, he'd make fun of me for being so weak to break down and cry like that. Crying in front of a girl on top of it all. Kinda like my father would kind of do to me. If he ever caught me crying, he'd always be here like, oh, like, to cut that out because men don't cry. Because a man's supposed to be tough and protect the woman and blah 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 and... For the uninitiated, let's just say my father and I did not get along at all. In fact, he's part of the reason why I spent a good chunk of my life with low self-esteem, considering he'd always, like, make fun of me. Whether it's because of my weight, because, well, at the time we didn't know it, but how my mind functioned, because I do fall on the autism spectrum, and just a lot of my awkwardness and, like, my inability to, you know, like, I couldn't play sports all that well, and I did, you know, I wasn't exactly the pinnacle of manliness, let's put it that way. Like, I imagine he would have lost if he found out that I used to watch Sailor Moon when I was a little kid. Because, yeah, that's for girls, and I shouldn't be watching that kind of garbage. Well, anyway. Thankfully, he's not here, and... well, long story short, I disowned him, and he disowned me, so... yeah, I know going back from that, but... let's just say I felt better once I kind of stood up to him. Well, that bastard isn't here, thankfully. And neither is my father, thankfully. Like, I imagine he would be losing his mind knowing that I'm writing... no, technically, yes, writing all these stories with all these girl characters in them. Probably even more with the fact that I'm voicing several of these girl characters. So, yeah, go figure. I inhale and try to compose myself as I get to my feet. You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you. Try me. Or, try me. Fine, but you better not call the goons with their big white nets to take me away. Mio looks at me astonished before nodding. We both sit down at the fountain. Okay, so this is going to sound bizarre, but this is actually the third time I've experienced this day. What? Yeah. I already knew about Natsuki's death because I've already gone through this exact... oh god. I already knew about Natsuki's death because I've already gone through this exact same damn day already. It's all thanks to that freak chick Amy. She told me something about how to save Natsuki's life. She told me this story about some guy called Tyrankos and how he can turn back time. I looked between Mio and the ground, struggling to look at her. I don't know about that one, but... let's see. Maybe I glanced between Mio and the ground, struggling to look at her. Her eyes widened, and she hung on my every word. I don't know how she did it, but she got me to do this weird ritual, and before I knew it, here I am, reliving this goddamn day over and over again. And for what? I actually saw how Natsuki died, Mio. I actually broke into her house like a fucking criminal, and I hate myself for it. The real criminal, though, is her piece of shit dad. I had to watch him splatter her brains all over her bed like a damn coward when his little double suicide plan didn't work out. I still see her in my mind, Mio. That day. You mean... I nod. I'm losing my fucking mind over here and I don't know what to do about it. I know I'm supposed to save Natsuki's life, but what the hell does that mean? You didn't see what I saw. It's like I'm going through this all over again and I'm lost. I can feel my mind I can feel my mind spiraling out of control as I slam my face between my hands. When I'm done, she stands up and grabs one of my wrists and hoists me to my feet. The hell? Hey, I thought you weren't going to call them to take me away. I'm not. Just come with me. There's someone we need to talk to about this. What about lunch? Forget lunch. We have to hurry. Besides, if you really are repeating the same day, you can eat later. He's not wrong. He always can eat later. I follow... I follow being closely, I follow behind closely. Okay. I follow behind closely as she drags me by the wrist back into the school. With Mio dragging me around, we navigate through the corridors, dodging some suspicious glances as we do so. I'm pretty sure by now everyone knows how I almost killed Jorichiro. I won't be surprised if the police would be getting involved soon. What are we doing here? Considering what happened earlier, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be arrested if I stay here too long.
I know that, Daniel. That's why we have to hurry.
I don't know how this is going to help. If you stay with me, you'll probably get arrested as my accomplice. Mio ignores my little joke as we head up the stairs that lead to the roof. Up to the stairs that lead to the roof. Nah. I don't think I've really been out on the roof like this before. It's practically dead out here. The only other person I see is a girl with violet hair and amethyst eyes, reading silently to herself. Wait a minute. Before I can say anything, Mio continues dragging me by the wrist, taking me right over to her. As I get a closer look, my suspicions are confirmed. Yeah, without a doubt. Yuri Katsura.
Yuri! Oh, Mio. I don't usually see you up here. I know it's been a while since we've spoken, but we've got some trouble. He needs your help.
She looks over at me curiously. Yuri is Kodano's cousin, so while we are somewhat acquainted with each other, it's not like we're exactly buddy-buddy or anything.
Trouble? What do you mean? The kind of trouble I think only you and Kodano...
God dang it.
The kind of trouble I think only you and Kodano would know how to solve.
Her eyes widen as she glances between me and Mio. She closes her book and stands up.
Daniel has some kind of curse put on him. He mentioned the name Tarankos. We've no time to lose then. I know you'd rather not skip school, but... No, this is of far more importance than school if he is involved.
I hate to interrupt, but could we move it along before the police show up?
Police? Dear Lord, what are you talking about? Daniel kind of beat up Jorichiro within an inch of his life for talking bad about Kodanoa.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I really wish he didn't do that. Well, I don't think I could do the Mio voice well. Oh no, let me try.
Daniel kinda beat up...
Okay, yeah, no, it still kind of sounds like... It still sounds too much like my regular voice, so I'm not gonna do that. Yuri stared at me blankly before putting a hand on my shoulder.
I understand. Admittedly, I wouldn't appreciate that delinquent for bad-mouthing my cousin either. Although, I can't say I agree with your approach. Let's hurry through the back of the school. I know a few ways to get out of the school discreetly.
If you don't mind me asking, any particular reason why?
Well, let's just say I'd rather avoid interacting with too many people, especially after my cousin's unfortunate passing.
We don't say much else as we weave through the hallways and out of the school. Eventually...
We've made it. Quick, come inside.
Yuri unlocks the door and holds it open for us and Mio. And... I scurry inside. Jeez. To be fair, we were kind of rushing this a little bit, only because we were trying to enter this into a modding expo. At the time of this recording, well, I mean, the expo is about to end today, actually, November 30th. By the time you're watching this, it'll probably already be over. She locks it behind us and proceeds to close the blinds.
We should be fine here. I doubt anyone followed us. Now then, Daniel, tell me exactly what happened. How did you get mixed up with him?
We all sit down on the couches in the living room. I more or less tell her the same stuff I told Mio, minus some of the emotional breaking down I had with her. Her eyes widen when I got to the part with Amy, and she holds her hand to interrupt me.
You said that Amy told you the tragedy of Tyrankos the Tyrant. You also said she somehow coerced...
Oh my god.
You also said she somehow coerced you into performing this ritual. Tell me how she did that.
I don't remember exactly, but
I just remember she started to sing this song.
The next thing I knew, my body started moving on its own, and everything after that gets a little patchy.
This is worse than I thought. I initially figured you willingly went along with her plan, but on the contrary. You were being controlled, Daniel. Amy sang that song to make you do what she wanted.
What?
How the hell does that work? Perhaps I should explain a few things. Kodonoa never told you about our heritage, but I know she was tempted to since she trusted you so much. I kind of knew only because Kodo trusted me so much. I just didn't know the full extent of everything.
Tell me what? What about your heritage? Neither of you are making any sense here. Stop keeping me in the dark already and give it to me straight.
Yuri, it's only proper that you tell him everything yourself. Very well. You see, Daniel, Kodo and I are descendants of a tribe of dark magic users called the Dark Interlopers. My ancestors renounced the ways of that brutish cult long ago after they saw through the lies.
Yep, saw. We have and now we have saw.
And the atrocities the Dark Interlopers committed. After this awakening, they immediately sought to escape from that insane cult and the horrors they committed. Kodo and I don't have any sort of magic power, but our family held onto a lot of the old texts the Dark Interlopers used. These consist of a lot of spells and rituals shared to them by none other than Zaretha and Tyrankos himself.
Wait a minute, who's Zaretha?
You don't know who Zaretha is? I thought Amy told you the story of Tyrankos.
Well, she mentioned 2 brothers and a floozy. Is that supposed to be Zaretha?
Huh. Well, that's oddly convenient for her. Very well. Allow me to fill in the blanks. In a distant realm far from our own, there lived 3 siblings. Articus the Creator, Tyrankos the Time Wizard, and their younger sister, who was able to create and destroy life at will. Unlike Articus, Zaretha was very selfish and lusted for power. She was incredibly vain and thought only of herself. She never once thought about those she hurt in her wake. It was also said she used her beguiling looks and magic abilities to seduce men into doing her bidding.
Creating and destroying life at will? That's a scary thought.
She became a great threat, which prompted Articus and Tyrankos to team up to put a stop to her. Overpowered by their teamwork, Zaretha was imprisoned in a place known only as the Pit.
Some say it's a hostile place. Okay, no.
For centuries, the bottom of the deepest seas have been shrouded in mystery and superstition. Some say it's a hostile place inhabited by the strangest creatures. Others that it's a prison for the most dangerous outcasts.
Bionicle, anybody? 2007? No. Yeah, I know.
Despite being imprisoned by her older brothers, she could still interact with those she had a connection to. And so, she manipulated and tricked Tyrankos into betraying Articus. His mind was already fractured by a terrible accident. She took advantage of this to make him believe Articus had plans to betray him. In short, Zaretha is nothing more than a cruel manipulator and a seductress who used her magic
Oh, god dang it.
In short, Zaretha is nothing more than a cruel manipulator and a seductress who used her magic, looks, and prowess to get what she wanted. That song you mentioned is most likely Zaretha's song, which was something only passed down to a certain bloodline within the Dark Interlopers.
If that's the song Amy used, then does that mean...
There isn't a doubt in my mind. Amy is also a descendant of the Dark Interlopers. Unlike my family, though, it seems as though hers is still rooted in carrying out the will of Tehran Ghosts.
What am I supposed to do, then? I don't know how to deal with this crap!
I wish I knew.
What are you saying?
I only know a little bit about the dealings of the Dark Interlopers, but my mother forbade me from...
from ever looking into it too much.
I only know a little bit about the dealings of the Dark Interlopers, but my mother forbade me from even forever looking into it too much. When grandmother died, my mother and aunt inherited some of the ancient texts and artifacts she amassed in the hopes of keeping them out of the hands of ordinary people. I imagine Aunt Tsubasa was very much the same when it came to how she raised Kotonoha. Even if the answer was in one of these texts, it would take us forever to go through it all before time loops once again. There's also no guarantee that it's in one of the books in this house. For all I know, the answer could very well be somewhere in the books residing in Kotonoha's house.
Shit. I'm so screwed now, aren't I?
Maybe not. Please, resume your story and tell me more about what you experienced in those time loops.
I let out a deep sigh and try my best to regain my composure. I tell her about how I broke into Natsuki's house to look for some clues, only to bear witness to her death and relive the painful memory of seeing her. Yuri stops me before I can utter Kotonoha's name, meekly putting her hand on top of mine.
You've been through so much, Daniel. I'm so sorry you got entangled in all this. If only Kotonoha were here, she would have been a lot more helpful than me, that's for sure. Yuri, no, don't say that!
The fact you're even listening to me and trying to explain all this is more than enough, Yuri. You're helping plenty. Yuri gives a timid smile as she looks away from me. I'm caught off guard when she gets up from the couch suddenly.
Wait a minute. There might be a small way I can help. I might not be able to stop time from resetting, but I can at least manipulate what gets reset.
Before Mio and I can say anything, she rushes out of the room. She returns a few moments later with what appears to be a jewelry box. So, what's in there? It's a severed head! Okay, no.
Something that should hopefully be of some help to us.
She sits back down and opens the jewelry box, revealing an assortment of rings, pendants, puzzle pieces, and even some heavy-looking padlocks. All the L sounds! Also, puzzle pieces, eh? Sound familiar? Well, like I said, Forlorn Heart Chapter 1. Strangely enough, they all looked like they were made from the same metal. That's what I said, like, this mod makes a lot of connections to the other ones we've done, both past and future. I would actually say that Forlorn Heart Chapter 1 was being written kind of around the same time as Shattered Time Rewind. And it was intended for Forlorn Heart Chapter 1 to be released first, and then the remakes for this and Captive Heart. But then, of course, between our former coder having his computer giving him issues, having to seek additional help, which is where Nightmare Ninja enters the picture. And then said former coder departing suddenly when he says that he wants to strike out on my own and he's tired of me holding him back. And essentially making me feel like I'm nothing but a lousy writer. Yeah, there were a lot of delays to getting both of those mods out. In fact, we initially planned for them to come out like, if not by the end of 2022, sometime in 2023. But didn't happen. Finally, though, it took a while, but these mods are finally getting out there. And, well, I couldn't be happier.
Everything in here is crafted from pure xenothioid metal. I've never heard of that kind of metal. I'd have been shocked if you had. This metal is forged and crafted through dark interloper alchemy. Ancient alchemy Tarankos shared the secrets to. Its properties allow it to cancel and nullify magic. As such, it will remain wherever it is, and in whatever condition it is, no matter what sort of magic is performed on it. That includes anything from Tarankos.
That's nice and all, but how is this going to help me? Yuri reaches in the box and pulls out 2 rings. She takes one for herself and hands one over to Mio.
Objects made from xenothioid can affect some of the things around them, or the people around them, so long as they have it on them at all times.
It's the funny lady! It's the funny lady! Okay, well... I don't know, it's like... I swear, that stupid meme has ruined this face for me. Anytime Yuri does this, all I can see is... bunny. God damn it. Yeah, so that's why anytime I see this, it's like... yeah, I automatically think about the funny lady. Well, okay. Okay, I gotta calm down. Oh hey, I guess I kind of needed that after nearly, like, emotionally breaking down myself a bit. Yeah, like, part of that was acting, but part of it wasn't.
At the very least, now that we know about the time reset, Mio and I can be prepared to help you by keeping our memories intact from each time loop.
That's actually kind of helpful. She reaches in and pulls out a pendant and a lock with a key on it, handing them both to me.
The pendant is just for an emergency, but I doubt you'll need it since you're the one with the curse. Your memories will carry over by default. As for the lock, if you have some kind of large box or even a door you can latch onto, use it there. Perhaps if you find any clues, you can keep them without you have...
You can keep them with you. Oh my god.
Perhaps if you find any clues, you can keep them without you...
You can keep them with you without... You can keep them without having to lose them when time resets. Oh my god. Making the sentence more convoluted.
Perhaps if you find any clues, you can keep them without having to lose them when time resets.
That's right. I found Natsuki's diary right before I ran into that psychopath father of hers.
While I don't condone stealing, we're in some rather dire straits here. So you need to do what you must to get to the bottom of this mystery. Whatever clues you can find, make sure you hold on to them at all costs.
Right.
I think we still have a little over 2 hours before the start of the next loop, based on what you've told me. I think it might be best to stay here at least until that time comes.
Yeah. We've already ditched school. I'm pretty sure the police are out looking for me as well. Mio rolls her eyes at me disapprovingly as she gets up from the couch to go to the kitchen. Mio hates me now.
I have to say, I never would have expected you to lash out at Joichiro in that way. I know he's...
stupid? A pain in the ass?
Not the words I would have chosen, but yes. Anyway, even so, I never would have imagined you'd have done that. You've certainly changed from the time we've met, Daniel.
Yeah, well, things change.
I'll say, you've almost completely changed. I'm surprised you haven't dyed your hair blonde and become a delinquent. It seems everything changed the day Kodonoha left this earth.
I stay silent. After all this time, I never really thought about it before. At the time, I already had enough bullshit in my life courtesy of my deadbeat dad. But the day Kodonoha died, I felt like I lost something. A part of myself.
Oh, my apologies. I was overstepping my boundaries, wasn't I?
No, it's fine. It's just... I don't know how to respond to that, honestly.
Kodonoha wouldn't want to see you feeling this way, Daniel. She would have wanted to see you happy and living a good life.
Well, that's easier said than done. Otherwise, I'd probably be doing that right about now.
She was always better at this kind of thing. I'm sorry I can't be of any further help to you, Daniel.
You've already done enough for me, Yuri. Don't sweat the big stuff. Not even the therapist my mom sent me to have done anything to help with the healing process.
All right, Daniel. I suppose in light of this new information, I'll see what I can do to figure out a solution to this predicament.
We don't have a lot of time, though.
Well, yes, relatively speaking. As much as I'm not one to miss school, I feel like it is a necessary means to search for answers.
Wait, you're going to ditch school?
Only because I need time to look through what texts and relics...
I guess, let me see. Only because I need to look through what texts and relics were left over from grandmother. Alright, well.
Only because I need time to look through what texts and relics were left over from grandmother. Not because I inherently want to, Daniel.
Oh, right.
There's nothing to worry about, Daniel.
The funny lady is here to make things better.
Besides, you've said the day has already repeated itself twice already, correct?
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Relax, Daniel.
Relax, don't do it. Okay, no.
Nothing will happen to my academics, considering I can simply repeat the day once everything has been corrected.
I guess you're right. Still, though, making you miss school on my account just doesn't sit right with me.
Well, at least that part of you is very much the same.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, never mind.
Wait, so if you're going to ditch school, should I not bother with it either?
I don't think that would be a wise decision, Daniel. After all, you're at the center of this curse. Mio and I are now outliers thanks to you revealing the truth to us. Even more so due to the use of these artifacts.
Figures.
I know you detest school, but it's important that you go about the day as per usual as to not cause any major disturbances.
Amy said the Tarankos could punish me if I don't follow the rules of this whole thing. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure if that's the case, but it wouldn't be wise to tempt fate now, would it?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Don't worry, Daniel. I'll still go to school with you.
We both look over to see Mio walking in with some cups of freshly made tea for us on a tray.
Oh, I was wondering where you had gone off to, Mio. I figured we could use a little tea break after all the sneaking around we did today. Among other things.
You're not going to let it go, are you?
How do you expect me to, Daniel? If I'm being honest, what I saw back there was just really scary for me.
Mio sets a tray down and on the table in front of us as she takes a seat besides Yuri.
I'm just hoping you never do anything like that again to anyone. Even if it's someone like Jorichiro, what you did wasn't right.
I know that, Mio. I lost myself back there. That's all there is to it.
Just promise me you won't lose yourself like that again. I don't like seeing that side of you.
I make no promises, but I'll do my best not to snap like that again.
Oh, Daniel, what am I going to do with you?
Yeah, and well, I was talking about this with someone prior to recording this, but Mio's character notes, which, at least, I'm kind of surprised how a lot of people kind of ignored them, especially, like, earlier mods. Like, it mentions her as being, like, very calm and wise, and the way it kind of paints her, at least to me, is, like she's kind of like a voice of reason, and kind of like that mom friend. And, yeah, like, I remember there was another mod where Mio is a freaking bully, which doesn't make sense to me. You know, given how she's written in her character notes. A bully and kind of an airhead. Again, kind of contradicting what was written in those notes. And that's kind of why, at least, like, me personally, if I am using someone's OC, whether they're free to use or not, I try my best to, like, okay, are there any character notes? Are there any rules I have to follow? If so, like, how do I make sure that I stay true to the character, how they're supposed to be written, and, you know, this and that. And at least, like, this is probably the most I've gotten to write for Mio. She was kind of like a secondary character in Night Nurse, but, I mean, she wasn't, like, the huge central focus of Night Nurse. Like, technically speaking, like, Kodanoa was, like, the secondary protagonist, besides MC, and she was kind of there as, like, Kodanoa's, well, I guess you could say, like, sidekick. I hate to say that about her, but I mean, she kind of was there to help Kodanoa and also be a voice of reason, especially whenever she was, you know, getting kind of carried away. So I kind of built off of that. And I mean, considering that mod happened 3 years ago, I kind of had a lot of time to think about, like, okay, based on how I wrote her back then, how can I improve and build on that now? And, well, here's what we got. Especially because I've wanted to use Mio in more mods as well. So Amy isn't the only character that I wanted to, you know, be like a recurring character. Anyway, so I guess in addition to her character notes that were made by her creator, I have, like, my own character notes about her, which draw from those, but also put, like, my spin on things. The girls chat with each other as I try to relax and enjoy my tea. Thinking about it, I haven't really had tea since... wow. The more I think about it, the more I feel like maybe I did lose a part of myself the day Kodanoa died. I look at my watch. It's almost time.
Time! Of course! That's what the false Turaga wanted.
You know, because that's what the false Turaga wanted. Okay, well... I'm sorry! Especially right now! It's like, considering that movie, like, one of the main things was that Makuta wanted the Mask of Time. It's like, the Mask of Time, time travel, Shattered Time. I can't. I just can't. It's like a force of habit at this point. I just hear... It's like, yeah, I just hear that line from Vakama, and it's just living rent-free in my mind. I put the pendant around my neck and placed the lock and key in my pocket. Now that I think about it, Amy also seems to be aware of the fact we're in a time loop. Hey, Yuri. The girl stopped talking and turned to look at me. You said that you and Mio are outliers in this whole curse thing, right?
Technically speaking, yes. Only due to our interventions. Why do you ask?
So then how is it that Amy is also aware of time looping on itself?
Perhaps it's because she is the one who had you perform the ritual in the first place? Unfortunately, I don't think I have a conclusive answer for you right now.
That's okay. I was just thinking right now about how she seems to check with me just before the start of each loop and all.
That reminds me, Daniel. I think it's best that you keep my involvement a secret from her.
I wasn't really planning on telling her, but alright. Any reason why?
If Amy really is a descendant of the Dark Interlopers, there's no telling what she would do if she found out about my heritage. I've heard stories of some of those fanatics going around and executing any blood traitors they could find.
Damn. Alright, in that case, I'll make sure I don't say anything to her about you helping me.
Thank you, Daniel.
The funny lady is in your debt.
Goodness, I'm glad you brought this up before the start of the next...
Oh god.
Goodness, I'm glad you brought this up to me before the start of the next time loop.
Considering how much you're willing to help me, the least I can do is make sure you're safe from that psychotic bitch. I take another look at my watch. School should be over soon. I wonder if Amy is going to be looking for me. Crap, what am I going to say to her if time loops again?
Considering what happened, I don't think it's too crazy for her to think that you're trying to lay low and avoid unwanted attention.
Maybe. I just hope she buys it. As I put my cup of tea back down, the room starts spinning and I feel my strength getting sapped from me. As I slump over on the couch, there's a loud pounding on the door. Open up! This is the police! Come out with your hands up! As I feel my consciousness fade, the last thing I see are Mio and Yuri exchanging worried looks, as Yuri gets up to look through the peephole in the door. Sadly, I don't have the energy to worry about them right now as I feel myself fade away. Okay, and I guess welcome to Loop 3. Okay. This is gonna be confusing because it's like, well, I mean, obviously each loop starts when we're right in front of Natsuki's house, but I guess I just have to make sure I pay attention to the date and, you know, like, just coordinate that. But anyway, so it looks like, well, now MC kind of has some help to back him up here. But as far as, well, I guess bottom line here is there is still a lot that we don't know yet. We've had some light shed onto some things for us. Now we have to see like what we can do with it. But anyway, we'll take care of that in the next episode. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with whatever else I do. Stay golden, and later, folks.